The New York Knicks have done it. Unbelievable. I'm going to share some thoughts. I'm not going to talk about the finals. I'm not going to talk about who I want to play, the matchup, all of that. I'm not going to get into that right now. Let me just close my screen. The New York Knicks are going back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. All of the years, the 17 win seasons, the 20 win seasons, the 23 win seasons, the 30 win seasons, the chasing after stars, the being the joke, the laughing stock of the NBA. All of these coachings, these big brand name coaches that came, Larry Brown, and you just go down the list, and chasing team presidents, and the Isaiah Thomas era, and the obviously the Phil Jackson era, the Glenn Grunwald era. I mean, disaster after disaster after this disaster, chasing stars, chasing KD and Kyrie, chasing LeBron, never ending, and rebuild after rebuild, and impatient rebuild after impatient rebuild, and a disastrous front office after disastrous front office. And for Knicks fans that are in my age range, a little bit younger, a little bit older, it's been a long time. There's been a lot of down years, and the last few years have been great. But it was getting to the point where it wasn't enough, that we needed to take advantage of being good, because this doesn't happen that often. And there's a lot of players, there's a lot of coaches, there's people in the front office, there's things I think I want to go through. I want to go through a little bit of, I want to touch on everyone, because I think there's a lot of people to celebrate. And the number one thing that we want to celebrate here, I want to celebrate as Knicks fans. That look, in terms of a sports fan, there's not much more long suffering sports fans than New York Knicks fans. And the MSG sells out. Knicks fans show up every year, excited about the team throughout the season. Look at these other teams. You know, the Sixers down 3-0, the fans gave up. Knicks took over. The Cavs down 3-0, the fans gave up. So funny about the Cavs, by the way, real couple things. James Harden sucks. Matthew Dellavedova there to hype up the crowd in facing elimination, pretty funny. Donovan Mitchell, great scorer. Maybe in the right situation he could do it, but even though he had a great game tonight in Game 4, I feel very unimpressed by his series. Mobley, something seems off, but anyway, I don't want to go too much into the Cavs. Maybe they go bring in LeBron and run it back plus LeBron in the offseason, but good luck to them. They were not a real competitor, or they were not a real foe in this series. The Knicks took their will in Game 1. The Knicks carried it over to Game 2. The defensive intensity, the offensive ball movement, the movement without the ball, the off-ball screens, the on-ball screens, the offensive rebound, the shooting, the pace. When Sistad and I did our series preview, I asked him, do you think this is going to be a series of the Knicks in which the Knicks, they make it a point to push the pace and play fast, like they did against the Sixers, to take advantage of Embiid's oldness and lack of durability, and the Sixers' fatigue and short bench? The Knicks pushed the pace a lot more, and as this series went on, they kept pushing the pace. This is something that they didn't do all season. They started doing it in the beginning of the year, and they backed off it, and they went back into like the Tibbs style, slow the game down. Not quite to that extent. I'll come back to Tibbs, by the way, but they played an incredible brand of basketball. They did not only make the NBA Finals, they went on a run that we will never forget. 11 straight wins. 11 straight wins. That doesn't happen ever. Very few teams go on 11-game winning streaks in the NBA, let alone in the NBA playoffs. And don't let anyone tell you the Eastern Conference sucks. The competition. Look, let me tell you something. We're talking about the NBA. We're talking about half of the league, the whole conference, and you're telling me that everyone's bad? Are you sure the Knicks just aren't that good? After they did that to the Hawks, a series a lot of people were saying the Hawks were going to win. They swept the Sixers. A lot of people thought the Sixers were going to win. They did to the Cavs. Less people thought the Cavs were going to win the series, but no one was picking the Knicks to sweep. The Knicks are just this good. This version of the Knicks, how they have come together on offense, on defense, the way they're playing together, the way they're shooting, the way they're defending, their communication, their connectivity. This is a special team, and they have. Let me just turn this screen off. They have come together and peaked and locked in whatever phrase, word you want to use at the perfect time. And they've done it now for 11 straight games. This is not a fluke. They have answered every question you have. Is this real? What happens if they start? Are they going to stop shooting? What happens if the opponent's best player has a great shooting game? Any question you have about this team's mentality, their connectivity, their talent, it's been put to bed. They've answered it every single time here. People are going to tell us, and I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but people are going to tell you the betting lines are the betting lines. They're going to tell you. My friend just texted me the Knicks are like right now are like plus 250 or something like that to win the championship. People are going to say the Knicks are significant underdogs no matter which team they play. I don't believe it. I expect this team to win a championship. But right now, we're not worrying about that. Right now, we're celebrating. Eastern Conference champions going back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. I was 8. So let's celebrate that. It's worth celebrating. There's been many years where the season was over in November, in October. Well, maybe not October. In December, definitely by January. The best Knicks run I remember, really, other than that one year with Melo, I would say that was the one year with Melo, when they went to the second round. The other one was the Stephon Marbury 8 seed, first when they got swept by the Nets in the first round. I mean, this is not something that happens at this franchise. This is not something that they do. They have not had a ton of success. They've had very little success. A lot of failure over the last 27 years. So, let's celebrate. We have plenty of time. We have June 3rd. Wednesday, June 3rd is Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Let's root on this Western Conference Finals to go 7. Beat each other up. And the Knicks will be ready. Now, let's talk about all the people. Let's touch on all the people. Me and Sister will do a longer episode this week, talking about more in depth and talking about, we'll go into like the finals matchup, who I prefer and things like that as well. But I just want to touch on a lot of people here. All right, so let's start with no one else but the president of basketball operations, the once former agent, Leon Rose. Leon Rose came to the Knicks. Dolan finally made the right hire. Dolan at least seemingly stayed out of the basketball decisions and trusted Leon Rose to do his thing. And Leon Rose signed Jalen Brunson. Most people didn't believe Jalen Brunson was a 1A, a 1B, a 2A, whatever you call it. People questioned it. Traditional media, basketball podcasts, players, coaching staffs, other GMs and front offices. No one believed Jalen Brunson was going to be this Jalen Brunson. Maybe Jalen Brunson did, maybe Rick Brunson did. I don't even know if Leon Rose did, but he at least did to some extent. He brought in Jalen Brunson. To do so, he made a bunch of crafty trades to clear cap space. He made a trade for Josh Hart. They traded a first-round pick for Josh Hart. Why? At the time, it wasn't clear. He was a guy who struggled shooting the three. He was turnover prone. He was going from team to team. Couldn't find a home in the NBA. He was viewed as a hustle guy off the bench. And Josh Hart found a home with the Knicks. He found a home with Tibbs. He found a home playing with his best friend, Jalen Brunson. And the chemistry on and off the court, what them together, is so fun to watch. It's so fun to see. You listen to their podcast. I'm not a huge fan of their podcast. I think it's Not a great podcast, but when the episodes they do when it's just them, those I like. They're a great tandem. Hart found a role, a team, and a fan base, a franchise, a coaching staff at the time. I know the coaching staff changed, but the concept didn't. That appreciated him and valued what he brings to the team. The loose balls, elite at loose balls, elite offensive rebounder, elite defensive rebounder for a guard. I mean, you saw him in this series out rebounding Jared Allen and Mobley, and absurd that this dude is going out rebounding all these big men. Awesome. The hustle, a fan base that just loves the tenacity, the hustle, diving. If there's a loose ball, Josh Hart's diving on the floor. You know Josh Hart's coming away with it. The defense, up 10 levels in the playoffs. The fast breaks, the emotion, an integral leader on this team. And so Leon Rose made that move. Then Leon Rose goes and makes this trade where he trades Emmanuel Quickley, who a lot of talent, but backup point guard, about to get paid. And he combines that with R.J. Barrett, a former draft pick of the Knicks, who has become a very good player, a pretty prolific scorer, to some extent. They trade that for OG Anunoby, a coveted two-way player that can defend all 5 positions, that is elite off ball. How many deflections and steals and blocks, and how many he just takes over the games defensively. He took in the second half. There was a dunk, no, 2 dunks, 2 steals within like a minute and 30 seconds for OG Anunoby tonight. He takes over games defensively. He takes them over with his 3-point shooting. He is physical. You put your 3rd or 4th best defender on him, and he will take him. He makes that trade. Perfect for the team. Perfect for a Brunson-led team. You need that elite defensive player who can also score, who can also shoot, space the floor, go one-on-one. And then, we have a real team. This team's good. They had that great run after they acquired OG. Then they had all the injuries, lost in the playoffs. Great run, fun team. They had DiVincenzo was awesome. They also signed DiVincenzo, by the way. Then Leon Rose decides, you know what? I think this is the time to pounce. And he trades 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. I want to come back to that. And he adds another two-way player who can play make, who could score in the mid-range, who could shoot threes, who has that Villanova connection with Brunson and Hart. Bridges, a role player that was playing as the best player on the Nets team, so you had a little bit of everything. That was the idea behind it. And it took a while to get there. We got there, more in Bridges to come. And then to cap it off, he makes a highly risky, highly volatile gamble, highly criticized trade for Karl Anthony Towns. And look, it hasn't always been great. You saw all the things that the Timberwolves fans have complained about. We've complained about it for the better of 2 years here. The dumb fouls, the just completely either misunderstanding or just lack of care about his the defensive assignment. The putting his head down and dribbling into traffic and just throwing a crazy shot up off the glass and falling down, not getting back on defense. All the stuff that Timberwolves fans complained about. Leon Rose traded Julius Randle, who was going to be extension eligible, and Dante DiVincenzo for this player, for the ceiling. And the ceiling is if he can put it together and blend with this team, mesh with this team to create a true 5-out roster, a 5-out lineup led by Brunson, that this could be a championship contender. It did not look great for a lot of last season, especially in the playoffs. It did not look great for most of the season. It looked pretty bad under Mike Brown for most of the season. Last couple of weeks, really last 2 months, really, I guess post All-Star break, it came together, and Karl Anthony Towns bought into his role. He bought into winning. He bought into the team first. He didn't make an All-NBA team, and he even said something like, "We only have one? Oh, yeah, it's because we care about the team and winning." And you know what? Karl Anthony Towns is a top 15 player in the NBA on an individual level. Karl Anthony Towns compromised a lot of his individual performance and goals for the betterment of this team. And back to Leon Rose, just in case that wasn't enough, he put the finishing touches on with additions like Landry Shamet, Jordan Clarkson, a trade for Jose Alvarado. And here we are. Leon Rose took a franchise that was failing for many, many years and slowly but surely turned it around with some incredibly creative roster management, asset management. The asset management has been incredible. And he has built the Knicks into a team that is going back to the NBA Finals. So, Leon Rose, thank you. Thank you. And great work. Great work. Before I talk about the Knicks head coach, Mike Brown, I want to talk about, I think it's worth talking about the Knicks' former head coach, Tom Thibodeau. Tibbs, I did not realize that, but I did not believe that replacing the coach was going to change the dynamic of the way this team plays. That I thought there was fundamentally something really too challenging to overcome with Cat and Brunson, the two bad defenders on your team. More on that in a second. And a Brunson and Cat duo, it just, the styles just didn't seem to make each other better. They didn't seem to play each other. Brunson's more of like a pick and roll operator that scores. Cat's not really a good screener. All that, right? I was wrong. Mike Brown completely changed. I know I'm talking about Tibbs, but Mike Brown completely came in here and changed things and elevated things, especially down the stretch of the season and in the playoffs. And his ability, his willingness to change and adjust and listen, and that on the fly, that helped get the Knicks to this spot when they were down 2-1 against the Hawks. The reason I'm bringing that up, though, is because there's no change, there's no adjustment, there's nothing to build off of without what Tibbs did. Tibbs took, just like Leon Rose, Tibbs came in and took a floundering, disastrous franchise and gave it a floor, a high floor. He stabilized it. Is Jalen Brunson here if Tom Thibodeau wasn't? Maybe. I don't know. The basis, the floor that he created of success, 50-win teams, playoff teams, a culture of winning, a culture of the expectation is to win a championship, so much so that he lost his job. The Knicks aren't here today. They aren't here tonight. They aren't going to the NBA Finals without all that Tibbs did. So before we move on, I'm ready to move on now to Mike Brown, but it should not be forgotten throughout the success, as much as it makes it seem like Tibbs wasn't the guy, and I think that we can say that with conviction now, he wasn't, to bring them to the next level. There's no next level to have gotten to without Tibbs. Let's talk Mike Brown. I kind of just alluded to it. Mike Brown, his willingness to change on the fly in the playoffs, incredible. And like throughout the season, it wasn't clear like what the vision was all the time. Cat seemed unhappy, didn't know his role. He publicly suggested, he wasn't always so publicly supportive of Cat. He had that whole situation where he hugged Draymond Green after they had that whole tiff. I think it was all part of a big picture. It was to get Cat to understand, if you buy into what we need of you, we will be a championship contender. And it took Cat a while, but he bought in. His screening went from being half-assed to real, legitimate, hard, good, strong screens. On ball, off ball. And then Mike Brown, his ability to just say, let's go to this Cat as a hub. Let's run the offense through that 80% of the plays. On the fly, down 2-1 against the Hawks. It changed that series. The Knicks used it against the Sixers to dominate the Sixers. And then they came out with it, even though I don't think they should have came out with it. In the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, Mike Brown, on the fly in the game, changed it. Said, wait a second, Mobley on him, Jared Allen camping out. Let's go back to the Brunson-led offense. Let's space it out. Let's make Jared Allen come out and close out Josh Hart. If he doesn't, Josh Hart, I believe in you. Me included, was like, maybe they should get Josh Hart out of the game, especially early in game 2 when he missed his first couple of shots. Mike Brown sticks with him. Mike Brown believes in him. Josh Hart has a career game in game 2. He adjusted when he needed to adjust, and he stuck with his guys when he needed to stick with his guys. He stuck with Mikal Bridges when he was struggling after games 2 and 3 versus Atlanta. Mike Brown has just, every decision has been incredible. And it wasn't always clear. Playing Landry Shamet, playing Jordan Clarkson, taking Clarkson out of the rotation, putting him back in the rotation. Now he's back out of the rotation. Everyone is ready. Everyone feels part of this. Everyone has had different levels of success throughout the season, and if they're called, their name's called, they're ready to go. Landry Shamet, what was he, 12 or 13 from threes in the Eastern Conference Finals? Land sanity, they're calling it, I hear. So, Mike Brown, all the credit. I mean, this team could not be more bought in. They could not be more connected. He took them to another level. And as much as I want them to win win 4 more games and win the finals, I think we can say with conviction, and we can say we can come to the conclusion that he may not have been their first choice, second choice, or third choice. He was the best choice. And I'm very happy and thankful that Mike Brown's the coach of the New York Knicks. Okay, let's talk about some of the players. So far, I talked about the fans, how we should celebrate this, enjoy it. This is special. Appreciate it. I talked about Leon Rose. I talked about Tibbs' impact. I talked about Mike Brown. It's Jalen Brunson's turn. So, one of my friends told me that after, I think it was game 2, maybe it was game 3, but one of the games against the Hawks, they lost, when I was like, just critical of Jalen Brunson. His defense was bad. His process was bad. One of my friends said to me, he's like, I don't think I've ever heard you be so critical of Brunson. And I think a part of it was there's a certain standard with Brunson that's like so high. But I didn't like his process. I didn't like the way he played games 2 and 3 against the Hawks. But since then, even though he didn't shoot well from 3 in this series, Jalen Brunson has been incredible. Jalen Brunson has been everything that we love about Jalen Brunson. The scoring, the playmaking, the willing his team when they needed to be willed, and hey, just taking a step back and letting his teammates take the spotlight when that was what was necessary. He did that plenty of times in this playoff run so far. His defense in this series, like, is he a great defender? Obviously not. He's small. Doesn't have great lateral quickness. Draws a lot of charges, and he competes. The way he would show and then hustle back to the screener, he would hedge the screens and then hustle back to the screener. He had a great understanding of what they were trying to attack him and how to play his role in avoiding that. And then the Knicks were like this, clearly in this series decided, hey, it's okay if we trust Brunson on Harden 1-on-1. And he did. He held his own. Some of that's about Harden, maybe, but he held his own. Obviously, when we think of this series, why did Jalen Brunson win the Eastern Conference Finals MVP? Well, because of what he did in Game 1, right? Will the Knicks back in that game with just absurd scoring, just absurd. Some of those shots, I mean, just what are those shots? I mean, some of those shots he was making, those aren't even like shots that basketball players shoot, let alone make. Incredible. But what I want to talk about Jalen Brunson is he burst on the scene with the Knicks, right? Randall got hurt, and then that's when Brunson really took off a couple of years ago. During that playoff run, though, teams started blitzing him more. He struggled with how to dribble out of it, how to throw a slip, where to do the slip pass, the pass into the short roll. And every year since then, he has gotten better and better at understanding, kind of like a quarterback in the NFL, like understanding, oh, this guy, okay, that's not there. Okay, go here. Now I go here. And Brunson has become a master, just become masterful at, oh, they're blitzing me? Let's go. Slip pass to Bridges. Slip pass to Hart. Pass to the three-point line to Deuce, to Shamet, to Hart, to OG. Oh, hesitation dribble, go around this guy. He's mastered it. And blitzing Brunson is no longer, we'll see if the Thunder or the Spurs do it, but it's no longer the recipe to stop or even slow down Jalen Brunson. It's actually the recipe to give the Knicks a 4-3 with three three-point shooters staying behind the arc. And, Bridges or Hart, masterful mid-range guys. So Jalen Brunson's ability to understand the blitz, read the defense, see when they're playing drop coverage, shoot the three, see when they're playing up and drive past them. Just some of these passes in this series, that one pass in Game 3, that cross-court pass to Shamet, just incredible. Jalen Brunson, his process, without his three-point shooting being on at all in the series, just dominated the series. Played great defensively, as good as you could possibly expect from a guy of his lateral quickness and his size. Jalen Brunson dominated the Cavs. They had no answer for him. Me and Sisat talked about it on the series preview. They had no one to guard him. They tried a bunch of different stuff. They tried blitzing. They tried drop coverage. They tried heads. They tried pretty much everything you can try, and he had an answer, whether it was scoring or dishing, every single time. His process was incredible, and Eastern Conference Finals MVP, obviously well deserved. So Jalen Brunson, then obviously, look, from the emotional standpoint, all these years of chasing superstars, chasing LeBron, chasing Kyrie, chasing KD, drafting KB and KP and hoping he was this guy. All of this to have found the guy who was a second-round pick, who grew up under the Tibbs and Leon Rose and relationship with his dad, Rick Brunson. This guy, from backup point guard, to see him rise, to see him create this name for himself, this brand for himself, to see him improve every single season. There's something so gratifying about it. As a fan, as a Knicks fan, we just love Jalen Brunson. And we appreciate him. And we appreciate everything that he's brought to this team, the culture. And there's just the one thing he had that one-man fast break in the first half. And he kind of went up like he was going to dunk in, then he just laid it in, and you saw the bench gave me a hard time. Alvarado was jumping. I saw I forgot who it was on the bench. Maybe it was Diawara was improvising the finger roll he did. Very funny stuff. The team loves Brunson. He's that kind of leader, and when your best player is a likable player and down to earth guy, focused on winning, focused on basketball, it really leads to it just sets the culture. And when you have the front office like Leon Rose, and you have the coach, now Mike Brown, and you have the star player Brunson all on the same page. Great relationships, all on the same page. And then you have your second star player, I want to get to now, Karl Anthony Towns, completely bought in. Now let me just take something about Cat. Talks about something about Cat. This is I was thinking about this the other day, and this is I was saving it for this. I think this is incredible. So think about this. This guy's played in the NBA for 10 years. He's been a top 15 player in the NBA for the last 7 or 8 years. He's made all NBA teams. He's a future Hall of Famer. Right. The whole joke, self-proclaimed best big man shooter, whatever. Elite shooter. Elite offensive player. Future Hall of Famer. Multiple All-NBA guy. 10 years in the league. Maybe 9 years, whatever it is. 9 years, 10 years, doesn't matter. Think about being a top 15 at anything in the world, being one of the 15th best people in the world at something. And then looking at yourself in the mirror, looking at yourself and saying, you know what? I need to do something a lot differently. I need to transform myself. That recognition when you're that amazing at something, think about the mentality to be open to that. And then to actually do it on the fly. Cat went from being a bad defensive player, a defensive liability, someone that I was like, no, he's just a bad defensive player. That's who he is. Cat, in this playoff run and down the stretch of the regular season, did not just play good defense for Cat. Not on that. That's don't devalue it by saying that, because that's not the truth. The truth is he played really good defense for an NBA player. Everything you'd want your center to do in this defense, Cat was doing. He was closing out when he needed to close out. He was helping. He was protecting the rim, blocks, multiple blocks, getting his hands on the passing lanes, getting his hands on balls and getting deflections. Defensive rebounding, elite all season, incredible in the playoffs. One-on-one without fouling, yes. I know he had a little bit of a hiccup there against the Sixers, but overall, yes. His rebounding, his defense, he transformed himself on defense and then offensively to decide, like, hey, I got to set better screens. The half-ass screens were gone. Outside of a couple hiccups here and there, the ridiculous, dumb offensive fouls, gone. They used to happen multiple times a game. Now we had them multiple times a series, and that's it. I think he did it in game one, a couple in game one, and that's it. We didn't see the rest of the series. He looked himself in the mirror and said, I have to change for the betterment of this team. And he did it. And the Knicks and Mike Brown and the Knicks rewarded him by running the offense to him in the first 2 rounds, getting him all the recognition. NBA podcasters, NBA coverage, content media's players. I even saw Draymond Green, who's always hated Cat, or at least hated his game, all say, like, they've all recognized, like, no, this dude is playing great defense. This guy is doing everything that you'd want your big man to do. Oh, yeah, and he's shooting 20, and then he's shooting 5 threes a game. And, yeah, go out and guard him. Because if you don't go out and guard him, like Jared Allen, like Evan Mobley, like the Cavs, like the Sixers, like the Hawks, yeah, he'll continue to hit threes. I am mesmerized, astonished, and so impressed by how Cat recognized 9-10 years in the league, future Hall of Famer, one of the 15 best basketball players in the world, that I have to change, and he did it. That might be the most incredible thing about this team. And it completely changed this team. So, Cat, the recognition, the mental fortitude, and then to physically do it, so impressed. and the Knicks would not be here without him. It's really incredible. Mikal Bridges. So, look, everyone knows Bridges was incredible this series. Bridges has been incredible this playoff since Game 3 against the Hawks, where he no-showed. It's time to put the rest of the fans that want to complain about the draft picks. The conversation's over. It's just, you can't have it. I don't care what happens in the finals. The conversation's over. It's time to stop complaining about Bridges. Oh, well, he's lost in the offense. Oh, why is he always fading away? Or, why is he disappearing? When we needed Bridges the most in the playoffs, Bridges upped his game on both ends of the court. He has been incredible. On defense, Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden. A lot of James Harden in the series. Bridges incredible. Off ball, deflections, leaking out, getting on the fast break, finishing on the fast break, shooting the three, shooting the mid range. When the shot clock's running down, they need someone to make a play. Bridges, he had one tonight where it's like, how does he make that? He had that. Obviously, the three in Game 1 that was huge with the shot clock running down. Enough of the draft pick conversation. Enough of the complaining of Mikal Bridges. I have been a victim of it at times as well. Not the draft pick part, but just complaining that he's not I guess pointing out that he just doesn't do enough. He's afraid of contact. Enough. It's over. When we need him the most, he's upped his game. I mean, you can't even compare it. His defense in the playoffs has been absolutely absurd. His offense has been absolutely absurd. And they're going to need him going forward, of course, but all the negativity, all the draft pick, let's put it to rest. Let's move on. Mikal Bridges is awesome for this team. This is exactly what Leon Rose envisioned. Guard the team's best perimeter player or second best perimeter player. A bunch of deflections off ball, a bunch of blocks off ball, shoot the three, play make, shoot mid-range. You need a bucket, go get it. Like, you have the better matchup, go get it. Yet being cool, being off the ball and scoring 18 points on 8 shots. Incredible. OG Anunoby, I already kind of talked about. He just does everything. He guards everyone. He has these like 3 or 4 minute stretches of these games where he just takes over, completely changes the game with 3 deflections, a block, 2 threes, a dunk. It's just incredible. He did it again tonight. OG Anunoby, he's the type of player that every team wants. He's the type of player that the Cavs need. He's the type of player that the Sixers need. He's the type of player that the Hawks need. He's the type of player that everyone that they play and whoever they play next will want, because he is a special two-way player. He defends everyone. He's a leadoff ball. He's great in the fast break. He's great at three-point shooting. He can create his own shot. He does it all. You saw him again. Like, he likes his match. Okay, go one-on-one. You think James Harden can guard OG? No, he can't. So, just a perfect complementary, like, star level or like below star role, complementary below star level, but like better than role player. To like a player like Jalen Brunson. OG looks like he's back from the hamstring, whether it was like he had to trust it more, or it was a mental thing, or it took him a while to get going. He seemed fully back. Give him more days off. Next time, actually have a big break. That's better for all the players. Looked like Brunson was a little shaken up at one point in this game. So that's better for all the players. Get the rest. They play June 3rd, Game 1 of the NBA Finals. So, real quickly, Landry Shamet, 12 for 13 from 3 this series. Played with tenacity. Played really well against the Sixers. His defense on Maxey, his defense in this series on Donovan Mitchell. This guy has a reputation of being a bad defender, and I've been saying, Knicks fans that watched closely the last 2 years, but especially this year, are saying there's no way this guy's a bad defender. This guy plays, even in the regular season, every possession like it's his last. Partly because he is not he was not on a guaranteed contract. He has not been a guy guy guaranteed to get rotation minutes in the regular season, let alone in the playoffs, let alone in the Eastern Conference Finals. He's guaranteeing himself at least to start the NBA Finals rotation minutes. Landry Shamet, awesome. And the toughness, the effort, just the tenacity to go with the shooting. I mean, to get impact like that from a role player, from a veteran minimum role player, is just incredible. Deuce, look, I mean, Deuce had that injury and he missed a lot of time, and he came back and he wasn't shooting well, and he seems to be all the way back too. And the thing about these guys is like, yeah, one night it might be Deuce, the next night it might be Shamet, the next night it might be both of them, the next night it might be Clarkson. Hey, like I wasn't going to talk about Clarkson, but yeah, like Clarkson kind of played himself out of the rotation. But you need scoring, the offense is stalling. You need a playmaker. Insert Jordan Clarkson, who also turned himself into a viable defensive player out of nowhere. That just shows how much this team has bought in to each other and to Mike Brown. Mitchell Robinson, the longest tenured Knick. Mitchell Robinson hasn't had like that breakout game this playoffs, really. He was very good tonight. Very good tonight on the offensive boards, finishing around the rim. But Mitchell Robinson is just a consistent guy you can put out there. He'll board the team. The Cavs are just terrified of him. They have two guys going to box him out. That's what teams do. They send two guys or three guys just to box out Mitchell Robinson. It spaces the floor in itself. A lot of gravity there, but by just being Mitchell Robinson, being who he is, and a monster on the offensive glass. So. Great. Again, not a spectacular series for Mitchell Robinson, but a very solid series. And again, longest tenured Knick. He was there for a lot of the bad years. So Mitchell Robinson, he stuck with it, and he is an integral part. They're going to need him going forward. So, anyone else I'm forgetting? I think I got pretty much it. I mean, Alvarado was nice off the bench. Spelled Brunson a little bit. Seems to really blend in well with the fabric of the chemistry, the culture. So that's it. The Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. First time since 1999. I was 8. I don't really remember it. The goal is to win it. And I think the Knicks, no matter who they play, have a very good chance. We'll get more into that. It's just that I will do a weekly episode. But Knicks fans, enjoy it. I'm going to go and light up a nice blunt. It's a celebratory blunt. It would also be a wind down blunt, as I am sky high with emotion. This, for me is a lot of this. This is pretty emotional for me. I don't get super emotional about sports in general, but especially about sports. But it's been a long time for us. It's been a long time suffering. It's been a long time of watching this team not make the playoffs, watching the season end early in the season, watching us, bring in the guys like Steve Francis at the end of their careers, or Tracy McGrady. And look, I don't need to go through it, or, just draft picks that didn't work out. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of failed coaches, and a lot of fake success, kind of oh, this is something building, but not really. This one's been real for a couple of years. It's been brewing. It's been getting better. Mike Brown helped get them to the next level. Hey, let's enjoy this. And come June 3rd, Game 1 of the NBA Finals, let's go get a championship. And let's in the meantime, let's root for the Western Conference Finals to go 7. Let them beat up each other. Hopefully, Game 7 goes to 5 overtimes, and let's go get an NBA championship. Knicks fans, thanks for tuning in. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.